Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, warning, this video is probably going to be all over the place and really bitsy because I have lots of footage from lots of food things that I filmed over the past 5 or 6 weeks, and then a bit of me talking about it, and then another thing from another week, so it is a little bit all over the place. But welcome back to episode 2 of my Healing My Skin Gut Body Naturally series slash videos. So this video is going to be, as I said, a bit more about the food I've been eating over the past 5 to 6 weeks during this time where I've had to eat super clean, and then a little body update and then a little skin update as well. So this one should be a lot more interesting than the first one where it was kind of just me talking the entire time. So yeah, I will also, as we go through, talk about some recipes and stuff, but don't worry if you don't understand the recipe at all. I will put all the recipes in a slide at the end, so you can just screenshot or take a photo of the one slide that has all the ingredients and all the recipes of kind of the food I have been eating if you want to. So yeah, let's get into it. First, I do have to confess that I have cheated. So long story short, I love food and I have never restricted myself, and I love being able to eat what I want when I want, even though in general life I don't eat dairy or gluten. If there is something that has dairy or gluten in it that I really want, I will just eat it. I would not stop myself. So this has been a really struggle for me, and last weekend it was the 20 something of August and had been about 5 weeks, and I just could not do it anymore. So Saturday night came around, my parents had made a platter and were watching the rugby or league, whatever sport was on, and I just cracked and I was like, you know what, mentally, if I don't eat some of the stuff I want right now, I don't even think I'm gonna make it to the end of this 3 months. So I ate everything. So I had kiwi dip with chips, I had some cheese on crackers, I had some dumplings. I then went to the supermarket and got 2 vegan cupcakes. Oh, they are still vegan because dairy and meat, not great. But yeah, 2 vegan cupcakes, and they were delicious, and also a few mouthfuls of some vegan ice cream, which I couldn't even finish because I also had chocolate, and by this point I was in so much pain that my stomach was I looked pregnant, and I was in pain the entire night. So not sure if it was worth it. It probably was mentally, because I think I wouldn't have lasted if I hadn't have had that big splash of food, or splurge, sorry, not splash. So confession out of the way, let's get right into the video. So food. Now, I am all about efficiency. I do not like being in the kitchen for hours and hours, and I don't like having to wait for ages to eat. When I want to eat, I want to go, I want to make my food, and I want to eat it pretty quickly. So I'm gonna go through some typical meals and a mini haul of some key ingredients that have really been helping me to be able to actually get through this and be able to have meals super quick and easy. So this haul doesn't include any of the meats, because I usually get I'll have whatever meat's kind of there, but in general, chicken, steak, thinner beef steaks for stir fries, beef mince, pork mince, and fish. So all of the meats, just normal, aren't in this haul. But let's have a look at some other key ingredients. So we have edamame beans. So literally you put hot water on those, boiling water, they're ready in 2 seconds with some salt. So easy. We have some slaw. Again, you can get any slaw you like. I don't use the dressing, but these are really good and super quick. Then we have some broccoli noodles. I've been loving these. They don't really taste like broccoli at all. They kind of just taste like a bit of crunch in your meal, so it's another good way to get vegetables in. Then I have been having, I got a few smoothie mixes, so just lots of frozen fruit, so that I always have some like fresh and variety fruits to put in my smoothies, these organic edamame noodles, as well as organic edamame and mung bean like pasta fettuccinis. Basically, again, I don't like just sitting down and eating a big bowl full of vegetables, so these meals are a way to kind of sneak your vegetables in and not have to just sit and have a whole bunch of vegetables. So those are like my key staples that have helped me get through this eating, as well as a lot of mince. So let's talk about mince. The way I have been seasoning and cooking my mince is basically just red onion, garlic, cumin, paprika, salt, pepper, the mince, and sometimes a bit of bone broth. That is the basis of my mince, and then in that I'll finely grate in some courgette and carrot, just because you can't taste it at all and it's extra vegetables into whatever meal you're adding for that mince. I pretty much always have some mince cooked in the fridge, so that when I want to eat something, I have the meat or the protein there. It could be chicken. I could have some like some chicken cooked in the fridge ready for whenever I want it. But those are the key seasonings that have saved my life. So that mince meal or like seasonings is how I do my mince for lots of things. So lettuce cup tacos, sorry, really good idea, and I've just topped them with guac and coriander, and that I had for dinner and then lunch the next day because I had lots of leftover, which was great. Another mince meal I have done is a shepherd's pie. So I've just put the butternut pumpkin and kumara as the topping and nutritional yeast. I did use a bit of almond milk when I mashed up the butternut pumpkin and the kumara, just to make it a bit more creamier and a bit more softer to spread on top. So that was a really good idea as well, because that gave me meals for like, I never know how many days, but I always had a meal whether I wanted to. I didn't eat it like in a row consecutively, but it just meant there was something always there that I was able to eat quick and easy. And then another key one I've been doing is either mixing the broccoli noodles and the organic edamame noodles together, because these literally you just put them in a bowl, put boiling water over them, and then they're cooked within like 2 to 5 minutes. So that has been really good, and I'll add either some like chicken to that and some butternut sauce, which I'll talk about in a second, or the slaw and like steak and kind of like a stir fry. With the slaw, I don't really like it raw, so I do like to chuck it in the pan with some like salt, pepper, a few spices, whatever you like, and some coconut aminos just to soften it down a bit. It does shrink a lot, so you can put more than you think in there, and I'll often add that to the bowl with, you know, the organic edamame noodles and broccoli noodles, or even with just some like iceberg lettuce and mint, and again guac, and make like a Mexican bowl. So I have been doing quite a few different types of like bowls, but yeah, again, the broccoli noodles and the slaw, just so easy to be added extra vegetables. They take 2 seconds to cook and they taste nice with seasoning, and it doesn't feel like you're eating a bowl full of vegetables. So those have been super key. The next thing I have been doing is like meatballs. So I'll cook the meatballs up. The pork mince ones are usually better, because I think pork mince is a bit more moist, not so dry. I don't really know. Anyway, pork mince meatballs. And then the sauce I've been doing, because I can't have any like pasta sauces, is a butternut like creamy kind of sauce. So this sauce I have had a few questions about. So basically all you do, cut up your butternut pumpkin, chuck it in a pan. Depending on how much you want, I would just do like this much. I do have some footage, but I kind of was doing half chucking in the oven. Depends on you, how thick you want your sauce to be, how much you want, like how long you want it to last for, how many people you're serving for. But really, this is so adaptable, and it's cheap, quick and easy, so it doesn't really matter if you get it too wrong. But cube it up, chuck it in the pan. You should have chuck some garlic in, some, I don't know if I did onion, you could probably put onion in, but definitely garlic, salt and pepper in the butternut pumpkin in the pan, and fry that off for a while. Our aim here is to get it soft. After a little while, chuck in some, I use like a cup of bone broth. You could use like a beef stock, but just make sure that you check what's actually in your stocks, because I have read the ingredients of a lot of beef stocks, and there's a lot of, I don't know, unnecessarily bad ingredients in there. When I say bad, I mean a lot of gluten, a lot of soy, dairy, and just like, I don't know, a lot of ingredients. But yeah, you could use a beef stock, chuck it in, and just, I guess, fill it so it's like halfway up, covering your butternut cubes, so I'll say like there, and let that fry up a bit still, because that will help soften the butternut a bit more. And then once it's getting nice and soft, you can add in a tin of coconut cream or coconut milk, not the whole entire tin unless you're serving like a whole family, but I just do maybe like a quarter, just so that it's kind of, again, covering all the pan. Hopefully it shows in the footage really well, because I don't use measurements, but chuck in maybe just a little bit to start with, and then you chuck it all on the NutriBullet, blend it up. If it's too thick or thicker than you want it to be, you can add some more coconut milk or coconut cream. Otherwise, if it is nice and thick and that's how you want it, then perfect. You'd rather add less coconut milk or coconut cream at the start, so that you can make it runnier rather than have it too runny and not be able to make it thicker. Yeah, so that sauce as well, I put in a tin, as you can see in this video, and kept it in the fridge, so it's literally just like ready when I need to use it for anything. And so say I wanted to have beef meatballs, maybe I'll chuck the oven on, roll up some meatballs, chuck them in the oven and leave, come back, my sauce is ready because I prepared it, and my broccoli noodles, or like, you know, fettuccine organic edamame noodles, take like 5 minutes max, so that whole meal is just super quick and doesn't even mean I have to do much. Literally just chuck stuff in the oven. Now meatballs wise, in the meatballs I put in onion, garlic again, paprika, cumin, salt, pepper, coconut flour. They're not as good as if you could put in like egg and heaps of other stuff, obviously, but once they're if you don't overcook them so they're not too dry, and once they're in with that butternut sauce and in with your noodles, they're still really yum. So that is another meal I've been doing a lot of. There's also the option of like a big nourish bowl, so I'll add in I love iceberg lettuce, so a big handful of iceberg lettuce, cook up some of that slaw, fry up some chicken and some turmeric, chuck some avo in. Sometimes I'll even add in those organic edamame noodles too, and just like a whole heap kumara, even just like a whole heap of stuff that I like into the bowl, and that's super quick and easy. So yeah, I guess most of my meals have kind of been like that, variety of all of the similar kind of stuff, but just like really quick and easy stuff. Now breakfast is the hard thing. I've kind of had to look at breakfast as just a meal, not really breakfast, because there's no breakfast foods I can have. So I most commonly cook up these circles of kumara. So I always have some prepared, and then I'll usually have like mince on toast, but it's mince on kumara. So that is pretty much what I have for most breakfast, unless I have my apples and yogurt, which is usually what I'll have for a snack, as well as a smoothie. Now smoothies, I don't think I have any footage of my smoothies, but my favorite smoothie at the moment is either the green smoothie mix that I showed in the haul, or the other one. I can't even remember what's in them, but I'll list it up on the screen. But I chuck a heap load of that fruit in, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, and I use that NZ Used, the Good Green Stuff brand. NZ Used? I can't even remember the name. Anyway, a scoop of the vanilla protein powder, a scoop of a little scoop of greens powder. I usually put some collagen in there, a tablespoon of the coconut Greek yogurt, and then either a dash of almond milk, and then just top it up with water so it blends nicer, or just the water. The almond milk isn't really that necessary, it doesn't add too much difference. And that is the smoothie that I'll have for a snack. Okay guys, so this next recipe is one of my faves, and is one that I kind of only discovered last week, and I still have a bit of tweaking to do, but hopefully by the time I posted this I would have tweaked everything, so the final slide that you see will have the like final product of this. But I made lettuce burgers, so these were so good and I was just craving burgers. So what I did was got my normal amount of mince and added in my normal seasonings. Obviously if you were replicating this you can add in whatever you want, but I just had to do paprika, cumin, salt, pepper, maybe like Italian herbs, garlic, coriander, onion, and I put a little bit of olive oil just to help the mince just to stick together that little bit, because I don't have a binding ingredient like eggs. So those are my patties. I also had bacon baking in the oven, which was so good. I love baked bacon, and it was super crispy. And as well on that tray I had the kurma rounds. And then for my slaw mix I had the normal ranch slaw that you would have seen in the haul, and then I added some Greek yogurt and some salt, pepper and paprika. And I think this is the bit I would want to tweak a bit more, so I'm going to work on that, but I think it could be a bit more of a stronger flavour, so I'll see how it goes. Then I also, I wish I had guac. On this particular day our avocados were rock hard and green, so I couldn't use them, but guac would have been amazing on this burger. So what I had was 2 pieces of lettuce on the bottom as like the burger base. Then I added the 2 kurma rounds. I'm obviously making 2 by the way, because I wouldn't just make a 1. Then I went meat patty, then I went bacon I believe, or the slaw. Anyway, the slaw and the bacon. Then definitely the guac would just make this so much better. But then another strip of lettuce on top. Yeah, so it was so good. So I'm gonna work that recipe a bit and see if I can just perfect it and see if I can get any more flavors through, but so good, one of my faves. Another thing, this is super random, but I'll just show you a small video. The other day I was craving like chicken tenders and hot chips. Obviously I cannot, well I can have chicken tenders but not like crispy ones, but I tried to replicate like the pita ones. So I did some like garlic, salt, lemon pepper on some chicken, popped it in the oven, popped some kurma chips in the oven, and literally came back down, worked. 10-15 minutes later they were all cooked on a plate, and yep, no vegetables at all, but I was just craving chicken tenders and chips, so that is what I had. I always as well have fish maybe like once a week, so this is the meal that I had for dinner the other night, and that was just like a massive piece of poke, and then I had the edamame beans and green beans as well, and then kurma. So yeah, that is kind of the food section done. Now, skin update. So these photos here that I showed in the first video, I'll pop them to the side. These were photos most commonly taken when I came out of the shower. So for some reason the heat and the shower was causing these red spots, and these photos here were all after coming out of the shower. So in comparison to this week, I took some more after I'd come out of the shower. I can definitely see a massive difference. Like, although my skin obviously doesn't look great or like super good here, there's not the raised little spots all over it, which is super good. So that is really exciting. What else? Body update. So I took this video for a before photo, so that was a month ago. I did it at nighttime, which I know I probably shouldn't have, so it's probably not as realistic, because I know I'm supposed to do proper like body shots in the morning, so this is after a full day of eating. But anyway, who cares, let's have a look. So it does kind of look like I'm standing really weird, and I don't know if it's just the angle or the way I was taking the video, but I am just standing straight on, so I don't really know what's happening, but I'm sure it'll still be fine to compare to near the end, or maybe I'll do one in a couple weeks time, so it's like the kind of halfway mark too. But yeah, so that's that, and that is pretty much all. So again, I'm not wearing makeup, and I haven't been for, I don't actually remember the last time I wore makeup, maybe before we went back into lockdown. So Aucklanders are back in lockdown, so it's actually been really good because it's given me heaps of time at home to be able to like prep this food and just be here to, I don't know, cook, I guess, which is great. Not that I, as I said, like to spend too long in the kitchen, but that's been quite good. It's also been good because I haven't been going into the office or going into work, so I haven't needed to put any makeup on, so it's been able to give my skin the opportunity to breathe, which is kind of good too. So that is the update for episode 2. So yeah, hopefully going forward, even though I did have a little binge night last night, hopefully going forward I'll just see like more and more improvements, and next video I'll also talk about the supplements that I'm taking alongside the food. Again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions you can DM me. But yeah.